you will not give rise to certain, pardon my language, certain stupid questions. So for instance, when the Ayyappa Swami case was going on, the Sabarimala case was going on, I had this brilliant question being asked on a regular basis. Anjaneya Swami is also brahmachari, Ayyappa is also brahmachari. Women are allowed inside his temple, why are they not allowed in this temple? So imagine, and these questions were not coming from non-Hindus. These questions were not coming from the Christians and the Muslims. These questions were coming from Hindus, from educated families, supposedly educated families. Let me add that caveat. And who called themselves Hindu families. So their education is certainly in question, and their Hindu claim is also an insignificant question according to me. And these were the ones to ask this question. Now, therefore, it clearly tells me that it is mighty convenient of us to sit and blame the judiciary or the government or everybody else, but these people come from the society, and this is the reflection of the current state of the Hindu society. That these people who occupy these positions of power and responsibility obviously are choices that you have thrown up as a society. And therefore, there is no point in pointing fingers at one particular institution and calling it an anti-Hindu institution when the society itself has become unconsciously or subconsciously anti-Hindu without knowing that. And they believe that they are Hindu simply because they visited a temple. So this critical aspect is important, because unless and until you understand this critical concept of Sampradaya, you will always arrive at the conclusion that Hindu institutions are traditional in nature, they are conservative in nature, and that they don't open their doors to everyone, and that is why there is a fundamental weakness in Hinduism. And therefore, you will welcome everything at the expense of the living traditions that people like the Puja Acharyas follow. The one thing that as Hindus we have not been able to understand is that the Anushtanas that they follow, we are not in a position to follow, nor are we capable of following it. What we follow for all practical purposes is what I would call Samanya Dharma, which is Hindu Dharma as practiced by the common Hindu, which is not the whole and soul of it. It is nowhere as close to, let's say, the purer form or the purest form that it is supposed to be. And therefore, you must strike a distinction between what they are entitled to do and what you are entitled to do, because your discipline and your commitment to Dharma is not the same. So when someone says, why can't I enter the Garbhagriha? You should ask him, what is your authority? And this authority is not a caste-based question. It is on spiritual practice-based question. Which is to say, are you following the Anushtanas that they are expected to follow? If not, please don't get in. It doesn't make a difference whether you're a woman or a man, it just doesn't make a difference. Now, these are aspects which I think are fundamentally muddled in the Hindu mind itself. And therefore, it is critical to preserve these islands of dharmic purity so that they can continue to spread the message of Dharma and remove these layers of ignorance from our heads so that we understand the implications of a judicial verdict. Because the people who celebrated the Sabarimala decision mostly were the Hindus, not others. So it's like this, it's a two-way street. The institution does something without understanding Dharma, but the community also welcomes it without understanding Dharma. It's obviously a clap, and therefore you need both the hands.